Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here. Welcome back to the train room, guys. Finally glad to be back here filming videos again. Been really busy with work and also life, as you can see on this ring finger here, and also coming back from my vacation and also battling an upper respiratory nightmare since I've gotten off the plane from Florida. But anyways, guys, we're back here in the train room, and today's video we're going to talk about a new to me locomotive purchased through trains. And I have been through a lot with this locomotive already. I've only owned her for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. But we're going to talk about it, what I had to do, and also review this beautiful G5s from MTH Electric Train. So here we go, everyone. All aboard. Alright guys, so my collection has sort of been gravitating to or going towards early American steam locomotives from some of my favorite railroads, especially the mighty Pennsylvania, also lots of other local railroads like B&O, C&O, Western Maryland, all those guys. So this engine was a perfect addition to my collection. Now the G5S's guys were extremely popular with the Pennsylvania Railroad. They're amazing locomotives, and they're also designed in-house by the Juniata shops. Now, these engines were specifically designed for commuter service. So think of it as, not your vacationer or to get you to your weekend getaway or monthly getaway back then. Think of it as like the bus, pretty much, getting you to point A to point B, get to work, get on the train, and go home. These engines were not the strongest nor the fastest, but they were pretty amazing for what they did. Apparently, they did enjoy operating these, but they did complain about how rough the ride was because of the wheel arrangement. Now, a G5S, guys, is a 460, meaning it's got 4 wheels up front, 6 driving wheels, and nothing in the back. Now, the reason why the PRR did this was to basically shift the weight and all that weight on the drive gears to create more traction or more tractive effort, but sacrificing speed in that process. Now, the cool thing is with the G5S is that they're built on the same exact frame as an Atlantic, which is a 442 steam locomotive specifically designed for speed. Speed demons. They also broke the land speed record back then with an E6 Atlantic. So these guys were not as fast. They can go about 70 miles per hour, which is still very impressive. But these were specifically designed for commuter service. Also, the Pennsylvania at the time was electrifying a lot of its territory. So these were designed for non-electrified, smaller branch services or mainline services that are non-electrified. So basically, like I said, it's the steam bus. Now, another railroad to utilize the G5S locomotives was the Long Island Railroad, which is a Pennsylvania Railroad subsidiary out in New York. And they used about 30 of these locomotives, and 2 of theirs are still around today, number 35 and 39. One of them is awaiting restoration at the Strasburg Railroad. It's actually sitting out there in their yard. It looks like a scrap piece, but it is a G5S locomotive. The one at Strasburg was intended to be fully restored and have a lease, it said like a 38-year lease or something, for the Strasburg Railroad so they could run it and also maintain it. Then once it was done its service life, it would be shipped back to the museum or that foundation that was supporting it. There's more information online about that, which I thought was really cool. There's also a G5S located at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. It's in Lancaster County, right across the street from the Strasburg Railroad. That locomotive, I believe you can walk into. They have like a ramp or a stairwell. You can go up to the cab, take a look around, look in the tender. Now, back when I was in high school, which is now forever ago, they used to be able to, do a tutorial and grab the throttle, the brake, and all that, the Johnson bars, all the throttle controls, and mess around with the steam engine. Now, I remember, I think my first year in college, they put up this huge, like, plexiglass veil over all the controls, so you can no longer enjoy that experience. But you can still walk in the cab of a G5S locomotive. Alright guys, so my G5s locomotive. I was searching on the internet for a steam engine while I was on my trip. Of course, I'm in the most expensive vacation spot in the world, looking for expensive toys. So I was on the Evil Bay and found this beautiful G5s and just had to have it. Fell in love with it. Was like, you know what? It needs a good home. I don't have a G5s, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to get one of these. But I was reading the description on Trains' website. It said like minor cosmetic wear here and there, needs work, but runs. I was like, okay, it runs. It's a Proto 2 5-volt, so I was very hesitant about that. Automatically, I thought, you know what, I'm going to gut it, put a Proto 3 board in there. So it wasn't really a big deal. But when I got this home, got it up here in the Train studio, I noticed a lot of problems with her. It looked like someone had dropped this engine. Like, I mean, seriously, just picked it up and just, boom, gone on the floor. The pilot was dented in. The bell was missing. The wheel was bent. Like, I'm talking like, not like a little bit off. I'm talking like bent. This engine could not run on that wheel. It would actually pop out of the gauge and derail on my rail tracks up here. So I was kind of disappointed about that. I was like, you know, I can try to fix it. I went searching for parts. MTH doesn't even have these listed yet. It says coming soon for pictures and lists. So I got everything kind of sorted out, made a list. It was like, okay, fix the wheels first, then try to order a bell, which isn't that hard to do. Then fix the pilot, which was terrifying, and then do the rewire. So we did eventually get her working. She is still a rough riding steam engine. And guys, the PS2 5-volt locomotives have so much detail. My DD1s, Long Island Railroad DD1s, have so much detail as well. And also my Decapod has a fully decorated cab lights, figurines. Just, it's an amazing model. So once I saw it as a 5-volt, I was like, you know what? It's going to be highly detailed for what it is, and I got to have it. All right, guys, so here is my newly acquired G5s locomotive from MTH Electric Trains. Did purchase this through trains.com, and I haven't had a whole lot of things like clunkers through them, but this one was definitely one of those clunkers. I'm sort of upset about it, but not really because I like tinkering and fixing things, but it was slightly annoying because it did not run at all. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This thing, you know, if I didn't know what I was doing with like upgrading stuff or minor wear and tear fixes, cosmetic fixes, I'd be totally lost. I'd be returning it tomorrow, or actually 2 weeks ago. But I was able to fight through it and get this thing working. The description did say it had minor cosmetic wear. It was missing the bell, but they did say it did work. So I was slightly upset about that. But anyways, guys, the G5s here, this model came out late 2000s. So that has the potential to have the Protosound 2 5-volt board installed, which this still had the 5-volt board. But I could tell someone was in here before doing work. Back here towards the rear of the locomotive, underneath the cab, there was a slot that said smoke on or off for a switch. That was actually filled in with hot glue, and the switch was no longer there. So that was kind of like the first indication that someone had been in here before. Also, the headlight did not light up. This marker light right here was bubbling yellow. It was not green. And that's before I even started the engine up. I sat on the track with track power. This front marker light was like yellow. So I was like, okay, something's goofed up. Someone's been in here. I'm going to gut it anyways. Did all of that, guys. Then I started working on all the cosmetic stuff. So first, the plow was actually so far pushed in up here, right here, that this front pilot could not even move back and forth. So when I test ran it for the first time, it actually derailed on my curve. You know, like I already knew the lights were all goofed up. I'm like, let's try to run it. Then also, before it got to the curve, this back was moving like this. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I looked at this driver right here. The wheel was actually bent in half. Like slightly bent right in the half point, like someone dropped it on the wheel and bent it. So that's why she was literally running like this. I can't make it up. So I ended up putting that on the vise along with the front plow. Got those kind of straightened out. It still runs a little rough, but the plow is extremely fragile. You can actually detach the whole plow from the frame, and I ended up bending that back to where it had to go. Now, also up top, I knew the bell was missing, but I ended up purchasing a custom bell from, it's called like J&T Custom Models on eBay. They do like custom brass castings and such. So they had a PRR style bell. Picked that up. I think it was like $15. I know it's a lot for a little part, but after shipping, it was like somewhere around $15 or so. Then I put a whole new lighting package in this locomotive. So we have new EVA model marker lights up front. These are green. And also on the plow, those are also green. And the headlight, I actually put a amber colored LED. And these are all micro LEDs. These LEDs are so small, guys, you could probably throw maybe 3 or 4 in each marker light and still have space. So I installed those, then installed the bell, straightened the wheel, straightened the plow. Also, I had to fix the headlight mount. You can see right here this little bit of metal. It's really hard to see, but like right there, the headlight was actually smashed forward. So what I had to do is actually cut off one of the arms that mount the headlight, take the screw out, then only use one screw to mount the headlight because it was so bent. It's actually face down. It was like having a headlight like that. Now also in the back, guys, you'll see this when we fire up the locomotive. The cab now has a cab light. It's a strip that goes from the fireman side to the engineer side. Also, I added an LED for firebox glow. The original LED was wired into this crazy wiring harness for the PS2 system, so I took all of that out, wired the LEDs directly to track power. Now, they already have the resistors in there, whatnot, so it can handle up to 20 volts AC coming off the track, so we're not going to burn out. But we do have LEDs back in the cab for cab lights and also firebox glow. All right, guys, we have track power. I'm ready to fire up this beautiful G5s locomotive. Before we do that, guys, I'd like to tell you where the sound set came from. The sound set of this locomotive actually came from a Reading 280 sound set that I programmed from the Reading T1 sound set. Now, the reason why I did that, I just wanted a different sounding whistle up here. I already have, PRR 3 chimes on some of my engines, like my Atlantic. Also, my 2 K4s that I have the same whistle. And this locomotive back in the day would have had a PRR 3 chime, just like a K4 passenger whistle. So I really wanted just something different, and it kind of just stuck with me. I really like the sound of the T1 sound set. The only problem is that the T1 sound set has the wrong station sounds. But also, I really like the startup sounds of this engine. It sounds like, she's tired. Like, do I really have to start up today? Especially the dynamo sound. So here we go, guys. Let's start her up. Just that dynamo sound, guys, is just so much fun. Now here is our whistle. And this is just hitting the whistle button on the remote. Then we're going to hit forward sounds. Reverse.
Clean out the ash pan.
Now here is SXS. This is your crossing sounds. I just love that sound, guys. Now here's SPW. This is the playable whistle sound. So that's just a lot of fun to mess with while your locomotive's running. Also, there's the Doppler sound effect, which we'll play around with during the run portion of this video. But here's the engine moving forward. You guys can see it's a little rough. She's not perfect. She kind of spits and stutters. And then reverse. And you can't forget the bell. Let's hit reverse real quick. Of course, we have the mighty smoke unit of MTH. Check that out, guys. This engine will smoke out a room. She is a beaut. Alright guys, so there's only one thing left to do. Let's run this beautiful locomotive. As you can see from the little bit of a run session there, just back and forth, she is a rough riding locomotive, which is very similar to the real thing. A lot of engineers and conductors and firemen complained how rough riding these engines were. They're extremely reliable, but just a very rough ride. So maybe it is set in stone that it's not supposed to be the best runner. It's supposed to be a rough riding steam locomotive. So anyways, guys, we're going to hook it up to some cars. Right now I've got a Pennsylvania baggage car. I've got a Long Island coach in line. Another Pennsylvania coach. We have a Pullman coach, and then also the Philadelphia and Reading President's car from the Strasburg Railroad. Just in line, just some random cars that I've been messing with up here. I do have a full set of PRR cars, but for this run session, let's just mix it up. You know, let's just have some fun. So here we go, everyone. Let's run this beautiful G5s. everyone, that's going to conclude this run session and review of my newly acquired G5s locomotive from trains.com. Am I upset this thing kind of shipped, in poor condition? Honestly, not really. I learned a lot on how these are built, learned how to wire up a Pitman motor, also had to do a lot of rewiring on the inside. I like a good challenge with these project pieces, guys, so I'm not really upset about it. Yeah, it is kind of concerning that they would ship something like that, but it is what it is, guys. It's the internet. You have to read and look at everything that you do. Look at every picture that you can, every description. That is the biggest thing buying trains online. Look at what you're getting. Look at the pictures. Zoom in on your phone. Highly recommend to use a cell phone over, a big screen computer so you can zoom into those pictures on eBay or trains and see what's really going on there. Also, I think this engine's running to the best of its ability. The tooling is still kind of goofy because that wheel's bent. So I am slightly disappointed that they said it worked and it was in good condition. I think they said, I don't know the grading that they gave it, but whatever. It did not run when I got it. So that's all that matters, guys. But you got to take what you can with a grain of salt on the internet and also accept that things aren't always perfect as they ship either. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel and enjoyed this video, always consider subscribing. Don't forget to leave a like on this video. Leave a comment below. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Hope to do more of these videos in the near future. Till next time, everyone, happy railroading. We'll see you next time. See you guys.